Okay, I saw another post on Reddit looking for a critique on their script. So I thought, perfect. Let me hop into a cast real quick and see what I come up with. So let me get this up on my screen, and we'll kind of go from there. So here's the post. Let me if I close it a little bit here. Hey now, here we go. So they're getting more and more used to using PowerShell. They're pulling output from their student information system. I'm sure that's what SIS stands for in context of student ID. And they generate graduation year, returns if they're already in AD. So I just read this. So I'm doing this raw, right? I haven't actually read the script yet. I just felt like, hey, let me just kind of do an analysis real time. And I talk with you guys as I'm reading stuff. And okay, so let's actually let's go get the script. Oh, perfect, it's not too long. I'm gonna hop this over into another editor just so that, can I do it raw there? How's that look? Not bad, not bad. Okay, that was the second thing. And oh, I got a screenshot here. Okay. So this is what they're doing. I'm assuming it's got like a CSV where he's entering in, get first, last, grade, middle. It must be this, middle name or the school, and then there's student number. Gotcha. Student number? God, I don't like that. If you could clean that up, and we might have to experiment with this period in here. Okay, actually, I got a way around that. That's good. Times. This must be how long it runs. Okay, input sanitation and checking. All right. Let's see what we're actually doing here. First thing I'm going to do is clean this up to my liking. So I might be a little bit nitpicky on some things here, but if I get it to fit my style, then I can see things faster, easier. That looks good. That looks good. I thought there should be a break there. So I'm going to put like a one-line break between like logic. Like here, we just assign a bunch of variables. I'll group them together quite often. For my professional scripts, like I'll quite often align things just like that. I like the brackets down here. Grad year, type. Okay, why is there a red squiggly here? Unexpected token. So right now, our brackets aren't lining up somehow. So I'm gonna start at the top again. Felt like, let me bring this all down one more line. Heck, maybe that's it. Okay. So on the edge here, that for loop is closed. Nothing open there. This for each is closed here. So I do have a hanging bracket. I'm betting this is the bottom of the function. Like he's coming in with some input. Didn't say here, but I can make that assumption. So I'm going to trim that off because I think that has nothing to do with what we have here. Okay. So what are we actually doing? We have an array list of years, and we are generating years, get date, add years. Okay, so are we, this looks safe to run. I'm going to run this chunk here so I can see what our output is. If I run this to see what's in the array, I thought that's what I was going to see. Oh, so it's future years, right? Like this year plus. And we're doing 15 of them. This feels very like C# like syntax. I could probably come up with a more clever way to do it, but you know what? It's getting the job done. Like I feel like we're creating a date object, and then we're casting to a string. Actually, to be honest, with PowerShell, a lot of the times you can get rid of for loops. There's something about PowerShell where if I see a for loop, that just tells me that they're coming from another language that they're probably strong in or done a lot of scripting before. And it's kind of a weird thing that like for loops just aren't really used in PowerShell all that much. And it's nice getting away from them because you don't have to think about the syntax. I mean, literally, you could do, so instead of this for loop, right, just the example that we often see is you tend to see something, if it's a nice like one-liner, right, it'd be like 0 dot dot 15, right? That's 0 through 15. And then you'd pipe that to something, not that, let's pipe it to this. And if I just did a string format, yeah, that's probably what I do. If I take this, I take 2, 0, no wait, I'm gonna do that. Way too easy if it is. Format underscore. I want to see what this looks like. I'm a very interactive scripter. So, right. So here I've just generated all the dates from the beginning of now, or beginning of the century, I guess. So if I had a start date, which was, oh, what was it? Get date end dot year. I gave me this year. Oh heck, I'm making it too complicated with this format string. Check this out. If I just take this is just, I want to do this. I want to do this. Year equals. Let's just say this year. Lowercase that. Part of my style. And this is literally for each object. Let's add these two. And then years equals lowercase y. So these two lines bam, replaced this line. So you can see why, let me comment this out. Okay, so you can see why I don't see for loops all that often. Like so many times for something like this, a little trick like this just does wonders. And here I simplified it to where I'm doing the get date once. Here we were literally pulling the date every iteration through the loop. So we're calling it 15 times. This is a fast function, so I'm not going to worry about it. But sometimes when you're doing like API calls or database stuff or whatever, fancy conversions, if I can pull that out above my for loop, and that's why I chose like this year, So get that back up. Is just do the calculation once. I mean, I could have done this like in here in line, you know, with a one-liner, but the intent is very clear. And I've personally embraced the verbosity of PowerShell. So you'll see me spell things out to say, you know, this year like that. So with that, I'm going to trim off this here because I don't know why. I just tend not to have those declarations up there. And I'll leave that comment there for now, but I'll come back to it. Okay, text box file.text. Oh, we have a GUI. That is what this tells me. There's a GUI out there that, so this function I was talking about, this is probably in some sort of GUI form. I'm going to redefine that as what do I want to do? Let's make this an advanced function or advanced script. But finding, and we call this the param. I think I've got a snippet here for parameters. I really like snippets. Just because there's some things you do a lot that if you have the clip there, and I say, okay, I've got that now. I don't need, what do I not need in this one? Let's just draw that one. I can delete outlines. I don't need an alias here, and I'm just going to call this guy path. Path. Mandatory false. No, I'll make this guy true. And this is the path to the CSV. Do a you know what, I'm going to put a validate script in here. So I can't remember the syntax offhand for a lot of things. So I'll just quite often just go to a new tab and I'll start the snippets and I'll do a commandlet function complete. Oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. This guy here. I'll just copy pieces out of there and I'll come back here and I'll paste them. Right. So being good at PowerShell is not necessarily knowing everything, just knowing how to find what you're looking for. I'm going to do a test path. And if I do this, it's like the object is passed in there. So by adding this, it'll actually verify the files there and throw back out if, sorry, they'll actually throw back a message saying, hey, this path isn't valid. Are my tabs messed up here? They are. I gotta fix my snippet. Sorry, nuances that I drive people nuts watching me tweak these things. So what else? Now I don't have to go overboard here. Like if I wanted to add, oh, make sure it's not empty, validated, not null or empty. There's another thing I can toss in there, but I'm kind of going overkill here, right? I don't really need that much validation on this at this point. In fact, I'm kind of getting in the weeds. So, all right. So file path, I know it's a path, and I'm going to change this variable. I mean, I could just call this guy now path, right? But you know, I already have a file path. So, in fact, instead of using file path, I'm going to call this guy path. And that, this guy's capital, I think. Did I capitalize him up here? I did. A convention I have is public stuff, so like function properties or stuff coming into my script are capitalized. Stuff that I define inside local variables, I do lowercase. Personal preference, but it works really well for me. So grades. So, okay, the grade is, what are the grades? The grade was, oops, what they came out of high school with. We have to think on this one because, well, let me see how it's used later. Yeah, I'll just have to see how it's used later. Okay, so we import path, we select object, everything, and we add AD dyn, an expression, which is a string. So I'll let this one go. I see what he's doing here. So he's basically creating a new object. He's bringing in all of the properties of our CSV. Oh, in fact, let's flesh out what our CSV looks like, because right now it's hard to tell what the CSV looks like. We got last, first, grade, middles, student, student number, right? So let me make a little note of that. So we had, it was last, first, grade, student dot student number, that everything, middle, the middle right here. Okay, I'm gonna call this guy CSV columns. Because I don't actually have the CSV in front of me, I'm gonna make the assumption that this is them. Okay, so this adds basically a ADYN column with a value of ADYN for each and every one of them. I generally don't like using select object to add properties, but I don't know if there's actually anything wrong with that. So I bet I wouldn't think of this first. I'll put it that way. Actually, what I probably do, I'm not sure this will work, but I probably do just my shortcut and do something like this. ADYN equals ADY ADYN. So like this property doesn't exist, but PowerShell doesn't care. I need to test this, right? Because I don't know if CSV objects are more bound and they're going to complain. This feels like something to experiment with, but I'm not going to nitpick because honestly, that should get the job done. We're defining grades here. Wouldn't be nice to auto calculate them somehow, but we'll come back and see how they're actually used. Okay. I like that we're using a for each here because it's getting complex enough that looping through each one is a good idea. Student. I'm just going to go ahead and change this now. Student. Actually, I take that back. Let me not change that. I might break something in the process. So we're defining some variables. We're pulling them off the. Okay. I don't know if this works. I'm just asking. I don't know, but this would work. So if that's having problems, and I feel that it would, I'm just going to put this in there now. Just, yeah, so I feel better about it. Year index. Okay. Grades. 0. Okay. What did I say? I had something else. Okay. What we're doing is a year index. Year index is, okay, grades.count is how many grades we have. So it's the length of it. So here he's doing that same trick, right? 0 to the end of it, where grades, whatever, equals student grade. Okay, so we are, we're creating a list 0 to the number of grades. Then we're walking that list, but we're referencing the grades to see which one matches in the, CSV. So if CSV is 10, the grade is, or the index is 0, 1, 2, and then he uses the years that we define up above, offsets into that 2, or 0, 1, 2, to get the grad year. That works, except why? Okay, I'm thinking through this now. Grad year, why does this feel backwards? 0 to count, -1 to the end. So if I go 10 in, 10 is 3. I graduated in 10. What are my, what happened? Oh, my script's too big. When I execute this, oh well. Why? I feel like we got like the inverse here somehow. Like the third one here is 2018. Did I find a bug? Or am I missing something? Oh, see, okay. Here we're assigning the stu.dyn. So I don't even think he doesn't even need this whole line up here. So even this trick is redundant. So I'm going to cut this. I'm actually going to cut this as well. I'm pretty sure, unless he's run into the issue that I think I might have, I'm pretty sure that this here will just create that property and you'll be good. God, should I test that? No, I'll come back to that. That's a different video. In fact, because it's a different video, I'll leave this guy in there, even though I think it's redundant. That's not what I'm going to pick on. Because this here takes, I think this takes care of that. I feel from walking through this logic that this is somehow backwards. Like, I don't know why this doesn't go like 97. Because, God, I get hung up on this logic. Yeah, we're counting straight through. We find the index. So what's saying is that index 0 is 12. Grades 12. Is that what we're actually dealing with? Grades? Let me read this again. It's only populated for high school and some middle school students, so we need to get a solid grad year. It takes the current date and generates the next 15 years with the graduation dates and grade. Their current, that's their current grade, right? If that's their current grade, that's their current grade. Okay, I suppose I should point out that we got the TikTok year issue, right? But I'll come back to that. So I'm in grade 12 right now. Actually, no, maybe this is perfect. Actually, you know what's throwing me off is this 99, 98, 97, right? Because the grade I was thinking of, grade as in what grade I am in right now. '99. Unless this is okay. This could be like domain specific knowledge, right? He has added 99, 98, 97 for a reason. My assumption was those were graduation years, right? When I look at this, 2000, 2001, 99, that fits in the logic. But out of context, I was thinking about it backwards. So if you're in 12th grade, your graduation year, once again, graduation year is this year. If you're in 10th grade, it's next year. It's going out that far. I guess that's his way of generating that many dates out. So that those 99, 98, 97 must be the way they're doing like pre-K, K, pre-K, and something else. I buy that. I buy that. Okay. So I'd say this logic is working, except let's find a better way to do this. Okay, let me focus in on this. I felt that took me way too long to figure out, and I really had to think hard about what was happening there. So what I want is, I want to make a dictionary where I give it a grade, I get out the year I want. That's should be easy enough, right? In fact, I can start with grades. We do a grade lookup equals, let's call it a hash table. And we'll bring our years down here. Just to move it closer. I can put it down here. Except, instead of doing this, we're going to create a hash table. Wait, have a hash table. I'm going to put in the grade lookup. Oh yeah, okay, this is beautiful. Grade lookup, not this thing, equals. Let me do this notation instead. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing I did before, except now I don't need to return it. It's actually going to just be shoved into this. So okay, so I have a hash table now. Okay, so follow me on this one. I've got my list of grades, which I like that. I have the grade lookup. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, grade lookup is a hash table, right? But it's empty. And I'm doing the same log before, right? I take this year, so I'm only calculating this once. And then for 0 through 15, which I could probably do this to the length of grades, like he did down below. So let's do that. Just like before, grades dot length. Do I want that there? Yeah, I do. Okay. So now, for each object, since I'm teaching here, right? My script, I might leave that shortcut key, but for each object, I'm going to do that same calculation I did before. Instead of returning it back, I'm going to put it into this hash table at the reference of not that. That would have been wrong. Because this is the number, isn't it? It is. It's actually this value. You look up the value in this array. Length minus 1. Not length. Length counts. Counts. Go 0 to the count. It's still count minus 1, isn't it? Zero to count. So I'm worried this is getting more sloppy. Like, almost like it's saying 15 here. You don't know what 15 is, right? So let me just put that back. I'll leave that. For each. Or, yeah, let's do that. So the reason why I did this is now, if we run this whole thing, yep, and if I run just the grade lookup, why is that so crazy order-wise? All right, is it right? Grade 12 is in 16. Oh, it's unordered. It's unordered. I don't know why my script pane is doing that. I'll leave that off. You know, it's unordered, but it doesn't matter because we're not looking at it. So let's take that now. So here is why I did all that extra work. So I can now drop that. Right here is the grade lookup. Wait, let me put that back for now. Grade lookup based off of student grade. I can drop this variable entirely. Okay. So it feels like I did a lot of extra work just to clean this up, but looking in here, this is easy to read once you figure out that that's the right index. Okay. So student ID, we're doing at the end. CSV sort, grad year, descending, export, Okay. Student AD number. Account name. Okay. So you can do this. This is actually fine. It's getting long though. In fact, what I would probably do in this situation is just bring the whole thing back here. Student AD account. Actually, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to say it's an AD account. I'm going to user AD user dot Actually, I'm going to do, yeah, this is a little sloppy here. Dash or yeah, I'm not sure which way I like better for this one. If actually, what I like to do is actually reverse these. It's weird nuance, sorry. And then now back up here. So this guy's redundant. I can drop him entirely now. Student ID, where's student ID used? That's not, wait, did I miss that? Did I clip that off? Student, yeah, I think, yeah, the student number is all it's used here. Okay. So, you think that this guy be a problem? It's not a problem because we're not using them in this inside the script. And we're exporting them here at the end. Okay. Student user. All right, let me fix this now. Student here, student here, and student. So I want to say ID just because AD uses ID here, but student. Name. Username. Now, I'm happy using short things like this because this function, I wouldn't make it any bigger than this. Like this is a pretty good size function. Like honestly, I'd probably break this out into its own function and if it like says, get grade lookup table. In fact, let's just do that. No, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. I'm getting this video is getting way too long as it is. If you're still with me, thank you. But this is how I would how I'd redo and change all of this. Or I mean, how I would critique and make edits to, and maybe my final path. I'd drop this now. That's okay. I still want to delete that, but I'm not gonna. So I think this is good enough to bounce back to them. Now I would take the next step and make an advanced function and drop it into a module. Right here, I'm planning on using it as a script. I know he's going to clip it and use it in something else. Let me drop the help message. That if I don't actually compile, it makes a compile error. Pipeline true. We'll use it. Okay. So I think I need to wrap this up here. I've talked for way too long on this, but hopefully you can see my method of attack. I cleaned up the structure, I dissected the logic. Oh, yeah, that was my comment was that this is the entirety of this function, right? If it's getting longer than this, I would break it up into smaller pieces so that like 40 lines long, that feels about as long as I'd want this function to be. And what that allows you to do is you can use AD user, username, student, because within the scope, it's a pretty small function. I found in larger scripts, you almost need like to declare like what AD user it is, right? So that's like how, you know, that student AD user, like you end up having to prefix lots of things. And that really, that's just a section of code that needs to be yanked out and put into its own function. I would also have pulled this out into a function. I know it's like 4 lines of code, but it's, and the function would literally be like get grade dash grade lookup. Look up. Okay, sorry. And it would look like this in the scripts, right? Because this and this here would exist someplace else. That's just one way you can make these scripts, you know, cleaner, I guess. But I think we can just stop this one here, and hopefully you got something out of this. Yeah. Until next time. I'm still broadcasting? I suppose I am, aren't I? Oh no, I closed my stream and I'm still streaming. So how do I get out of that? So embarrassing, right? Oh no, I closed my stream and I'm still streaming.